ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to episode 127 of For the Fan. As always, I am Will, and we got Dom, Jake, and Colton here. Gentlemen, hello. Happy
Hello.
Wednesday.
Good afternoon.
Do we still celebrate Hump Day? Is it still a
No.
thing?
No, that doesn't exist anymore.
No. COVID got rid of hump day. Every day is the same at this point.
What was that, like a junior year thing, senior year Geico commercial?
Oh, I forgot all about that stupid commercial. What was it? It was like, hump day!
Yeah, here we go, Hump Day.
yeah, the stupid camera.
It's Hump Day.
Like,
That didn't exist in my mind until now, since for like 8 years. That's fantastic. I'm glad you said that, Will.
So much has happened in a week. A whole release of a NCAA game and cooler weather on the East Coast. About damn time. Yes, follow us on the stuff down below there. YouTube for the Fan Network, TikTok for the Fan Network, Twitter and/or X for the Fan, and Instagram for the Fan Football. We got some people joining in through TikTok, so thank you very much for tuning in. Gentlemen, favorite division of all time, the NFC South. Are we ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Rev up those fryers.
Yeah, 3 of us are
Three of
ready
us are.
as hell.
One cannot be bothered to be here right now.
I just start this damn division already.
All right. As Colin's wishes here, you are listening to For the Fan.
You are listening to For the Fan.
And here we are, the NFC South. Should we just let's just get right into it here. So as always, we start with the worst team in the division. Make our way to the division winner. That's how we rock and roll on there.
Will almost said everything Colton wished he said. That was amazing.
We start with the worst hated team here, and then we work our way to the best. But okay, here we go. So we are going to start out with the Carolina Panthers, who were the worst team in football last year at 2-15, 1-5. Did not hold a lead at any point during a football game. The only leads that they held were their 2 wins on game-winning kicks against the Houston Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons and the Panthers was the worst game of all time last year. Now, new head coach Dave Canales is going to help get Bryce Young back onto what he was at Alabama. A lot more strength and just all that stuff. Stuff is slamming everywhere. I don't know what that was. But, yeah, Panthers hoping to rebound from last year into maybe some greener pastures.
Yeah, sorry, that was Bryce Young's books falling out of his backpack, that toddler showing up to training camp. Right, that's what that was.
I like that they had him start at a brick wall and make him like walk out into like a random parking lot. Like, oh, can you just pretend you just showed up for day one? And it was like,
Well, I don't. Why in the hell would they say that's a great idea, or he thought that was a good idea, or his agent or thought that was a great idea? Yeah, no, not a great idea there for Bryce Young, probably one of the shorter quarterbacks in the NFL, which also didn't play out in their favor last season. So give me this garbage offense. Let me see this garbage depth chart, please.
So looking at, I got to find my cursor here really quick. So looking at the Carolina Panthers, they've made some moves. They made some logical moves. So Bryce Young was sacked. Well, Panthers quarterbacks, because Andy Dalton started a game or 2 last year, were sacked 66 times. So they needed to re-solidify the offensive line. So going after Damian Lewis from the Seahawks, going after Robert Hunt and the Miami Dolphins. The Hunt move was, I really feel like, was more desperation, paying him $20 million, 5-year, $100 million total contract. That was a must for the Panthers, who still have Taylor Martin. They still have Iquanu at left tackle. Austin Coper, he still is, the center for the Carolina Panthers. They make a trade for Deontay Johnson. They exchanged a sixth went one way, a 7th went another way to Pittsburgh for Dante Jackson, the cornerback. They get him another target to pair up with Adam Thielen. They go out and they trade up in the draft, actually, from number 33 all the way to number 32 to take Xavier Legette. And yeah, they take Jonathan Brooks, who could be a nice up-and-coming NFL running back whenever he gets back from his ACL injury that he suffered very late into the season with Texas. That's all I really have. I don't have much else to say about the Carolina Panthers right now, but I think the tides are turning. It's going to be a decent tide turning motion going on.
Yeah, I'm just not falling into the trap. I mean, I really like Xavier Leggett, but not doing this for like the 6th year in a row. With
I said it last year. I said I'm not impressed with this team, and everyone was kind of like, did he just say what I thought he just said?
Well,
I said it last year.
You people hyped up this entire division. Wow, genius me. Did not form any of this garbage, and you guys all decided to talk about this whole division should take a half an hour. Talking about the NFC South should take a half an hour total. So, yes, DeAndre Johnson gets traded. That's a good deal for Bryce Young. They draft Leggett out of, South Carolina?
Yeah,
I believe so.
One of the more kind of hyped up wideout going into this draft outside of the top 3 guys, clearly. And he ended up kind of moving up boards. So we'll see. He's got some weapons to throw to now, not just old Adam Thielen, who, again, came out of the offseason and was like, oh, yeah, I wish I went to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's also great. Nice job being a big team member there for the Panthers there, Thielen. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what – again, we're going to start off – we're already on the offense. I could care less about when we get to the defense. The only thing that matters about the Carolina Panthers is, does Bryce Young look like he belongs? Because last year he did not. So that's pretty much what this team's all about. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to be a playoff team. It all comes down to, how does Bryce Young look? That is literally the Carolina Panthers in a nutshell. What is a successful season for the Panthers? Bryce Young and his development, because he looked lost last season as the number 1 overall pick.
keeping him upright would help a lot too.
He sure would.
And that's what they did with Damian Lewis, bringing him in from Seattle. But then I don't really like the Robert Hunt signing. That was a really big overpay, as I mentioned a couple minutes ago. But I have two things to take away here. One, I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers have a magic 8-ball that they keep in the front office, because whenever they shake it up and say, oh, should we trade insert name here, wide receiver, they just know when to trade them before they just fall off a fiscal cliff. Martavius Bryant, Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool. Can Deontay Johnson be on that list of like, oh, hey, we just finessed another team for, draft pick, a player, and whatnot?
Probably.
I assume that's what they have. They just wait for the yes or the no to pop up in the magic 8-ball. And my second thing here. Oh,
yeah.
You go down.
No, all you.
Okay, so Dave Canales, okay, longtime part of the Seahawks coaching staff with Pete Carroll. He started in USC. He makes the move from California up to the Pacific Northwest. Was there for 2010 all the way to 2 years ago. Quarterbacks coach, wide receivers coach. He's won the Super Bowl with them. I think Dave Canales can do what he needs to do to get Bryce Young back on track. 2 years ago, as the quarterbacks coach for the Seahawks, Geno Smith was a Pro Bowler, throwing a hair over 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Last year, he goes from the Seahawks, he goes to the Buccaneers, he gets Baker Mayfield paid, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and again a hair over 4,000 yards. I think he could be the next quarterback whisperer of the league. As a head coach, I mean, going from quarterbacks coach to offensive coordinator, now he's a head coach. I think he has what it takes to turn Bryce Young around. I'm not saying like, oh, throw for 4,000 yards, maybe 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns. No way, shape, or form is this going to be a playoff team or playoff contending team at all.
I will say, I mean, like adding what they've added to this receiving core, it is a better receiving core still than some of the teams we looked at last week. I know I would say this is Patriots. Yep. I would even say the Bills was not very pretty when we looked at the Bills. So at least I guess they have something going for them. But I mean, nonetheless, like you said, not a playoff team. I mean, running game could be okay. It was okay last year. Miles Sanders being third on this chart is weird, but whatever. It's just, I don't know. Like you said, not a playoff team. I say we jump to the defense.
Yeah, I got nothing else to say on here. So,
yeah.
Defense, they trade away Brian Burns for a second-round pick and a seventh-round pick to the Giants. They could have had 2 1s and I think some extra change if they traded them to the Rams a couple years ago, or even some of the other teams at the trade deadline sniffing around for, a key edge rusher, defensive end looking linebacker. He's no longer there. The defense, it's not bad. They've made a couple moves. Jadeveon Clowney returns home, returning to his heirs of the Carolinas. Hasn't been there since playing at South Carolina, them going on to be the number 1 overall pick. They've also signed DJ Wan, Ashawn Robinson, Josie Jewell, who I think is a really good signing at the middle linebacker spot. Dane Jackson, Jordan Fuller, Nick Scott. But they've also lost a lot of key pieces, including Frankie Louvu, C.J. Henderson, Dante Jackson, Von Bell, Jeremy Chin. So some of the additions are nice, but then the subtractions it just equals out at this rate.
Yeah.
This is now on the older side now on defense instead of trying to be young and trying to, get something cooking.
It's an NFL defense, but it's still the worst defense in this division, I think. I don't know. It's not. This is the
thing with the Panthers, though. They always have pieces that you look like, oh, maybe they could be good. Oh, this could be something, and then they just never do. And we're all just ignoring the elephant in the room that with one bad week, they might just, throw everything in the toilet because the owner's a madman.
Oh, what's his name again? I'm drawing a big blank on it.
David Tepper.
Yes. Yeah. And this team's been obviously incredible in his reign as the owner of this team. Obviously, accomplishments everywhere. It's pure sarcasm. I don't know. And then for them to go the head coach route they did, it's cool, but it's not.
Well, it's because I couldn't get anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work for the guy.
It wasn't a good sell. And that's what happens. I don't know. Oh, this was who we thought was intimidated by Vrabel.
Yes.
That's right.
That's why we said the perfect hire would be Vrabel.
And then it came out with that news that a team or whatever was intimidated, or a owner was intimidated by Vrabel or something, so he didn't go the Vrabel route. Very strong vibes that it was this team, that owner. So I don't know.
A comment on Instagram, TikTok here by Vanilla Baby. If the Panthers still had CMC, it would make a difference. CMC is a great player.
Yeah.
CMC is a phenomenal player. Okay, I still wish he was in the Panthers uniforms because he looks really good in them, but he also looks really good in a Niners uniform as well, and he just kind of fits that deal with. Shanahan. He follows Shanahan's father, and then Christian's father, Ed McCaffrey, and then it's just the next generation. They're just player coach combination all over again.
That's saying. You could say this. If you had CMC on the offense would be much better. If you had Brian Burns on the defense, the defense would be much better. There's 2 game changers that, you were forced to get rid of because you can't put the team together on the field and put together wins. Also, and coaching and the owner and there's too much.
2 firsts for Burns.
Yeah, that too is crazy.
At least also declined some stuff before the season last year too.
Yeah.
I don't know what they declined, but
I know they declined 2 different deals from the Eagles for a fact. One of them included 2 firsts.
All I know is that this is driving me nuts again. This is going to be the Falcons from last year. We're going on 14 minutes into the show, and we are still on the Carolina Panthers.
It's only about 12 minutes. So let's go into the schedule. Let's go into the schedule here.
We're on from the dumpster fire known as the Panthers. Yes, they're going to suck.
Hey.
They'll probably be the first overall pick again. Who the hell cares about Bryce Young and his little freaking backpack-assing Panthers? Please, move on. The team sucks.
Colton, we gave the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3 minutes last year, and they were.
That's what this team should get. 3 minutes.
So let's go into the schedule here, and I can ask the all-important question: what will make this season successful this year? And I think I can say for everyone here,
development. That is it. If Bryce Young looks like a franchise guy, that is a success for the Panthers. Outside of that, looking at the schedule, it's ass. Good luck winning any football games if you're Carolina. And on the way, They're going to have an empty-ass stadium again this season. It's going to be $5 to get in the freaking joint. They suck. Next. Oh, I hate the NFC
I
South.
say the ceiling is 8 wins,
South.
and
Why
then the floor is still 4.
thing? I hate the NFC South. Holy God, I hate this thing.
I'm only counting losses. I'm not counting wins. I mean, their schedule is not like hard at all, really.
It is for them.
They suck. Well, yeah, but I'm saying like a normal NFL team, this is like kind of an easy schedule for the most part. But it is. I mean, it's like you could copy and paste last year's stuff and just put it here with what will make this team successful.
I don't see wins until possibly week 8 with Denver. That's about it. When the hell? Then the Giants. When the hell are they winning a football game? Seriously.
Commander,
They're not beating the Saints at home in New Orleans. They're not winning in Vegas. Like, come on. Look at this. Where the hell are they winning a football game? Maybe week 8 against Denver. And, oh, by the way, it's on the road. When are they winning a game? Seriously.
I don't think they win one.
They win week 11.
Like, this team sucks.
They win.
Are you appreciative now because the Panthers and Giants have to play in Germany, and now you got your wish of 2 awful teams playing.
Thank
now
you. Send
in
the
foreign
garbage
country.
teams there. It's what it should be. Goodbye. No one wants to see these 2 dumpster fires. Goodbye.
That's so stupid.
Well, yes, really sending our best.
Let's show what Germany football's like.
Hey, Johnny Hecker, he's always over there.
Yeah, there you go.
I got nothing else on this.
Yeah,
team,
it's like a 13, 14, 15 loss team. Cool. All right, yeah, let's move on. Well, you ready? Let's do this.
All right, we're going to everyone's favorite team here, the Atlanta Falcons. And a year ago, if they had some quality quarterback play, maybe someone being able to throw the football with some just brain cells, they could have snuck away with the division. But 7-10 last year, 3-3 in the division. Arthur Smith just not knowing how to use Bijan Robinson. Kyle Pitts was in the basement for another year. Tyler Allgeier's still going strong. And this is the man who can presumably get them over the hump. Kirk Cousins, coming off a torn Achilles with the Minnesota Vikings, gets 4 years, $180 million. Several people were fined on the Falcons for tampering, trying to get his contract going. Loss of a draft pick, fines from the team to, I think, like the GM or something. But yeah, there we go. And thank you, I'm Vanilla Baby, for the follow. We will get to the Raiders coming soon. But Dom, can you pull me back? Can you pull us all back in? And we could talk about the offense here. And the 2 big pieces here. Kirk Cousins, okay. You trade Desmond Ridder. You get Rondale Moore out of the Cardinals. I think it's easily the best trade that they can honestly ask for. They go out with the number 8 overall pick. They take Michael Penix Jr. They get Rook or whatever his name is from Clemson, but that's on the defensive side, so don't worry about that. This is a winning offense in this division. I had nothing else to say. This is a winning offense in this division. Bijan Robinson will hopefully be used with first-year Raheem Morris, who former Buccaneers guy. He was the interim head coach at the end of the Dan Quinn era after he was fired.
Lost the Super Bowl. Was the DC when they lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots 28-3. That whole thing. So there's also that. It's kind of funny.
Yes, he was.
Pretty positive he was. Like, I'm very positive. When he got hired and then I looked him up, I was like, oh, okay. Yep. At least he was a defensive coach. Maybe he wasn't.
He was the assistant head coach, wide receivers coach, and offensive pass game coordinator.
There you go. That's what he was then.
He was the defensive coordinator for the LA Rams when they won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But he has now 22 years of experience under his belt from the Buccaneers of the old days with John Lynch and Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks. Hoping to make some noise again as once again head coach in the NFL.
I mean, this team just went 7-9 for 3 years straight. New head coach, obviously new quarterback, a quarterback that can handle an offense like this. Honestly, weapons like constantly. It's an offense I like. I like this offense. I think this is a clear first offense in this division. Could have been the Saints like we saw last year maybe, and that didn't really pan out.
Should have been the first offense last year, but they didn't have a quarterback or a play caller who
That's
knew
also
what he was
true.
doing.
Yep, that's also true. We should see, like Will said, more of Bijan Robinson for real. I mean, this is a semi-deep, good starters offense with a quarterback that is a veteran that can throw the ball accurately, get the guys the ball. I mean, I like this offense. So
There's no holes in this offense. There's no Swiss cheese on this offense. It's one of the more complete offenses in the league, from the offensive line, receiving core, running back game, tight ends groups. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be an emerging man this year. I think he's going to be what Matt Ryan did in his for Kyle Pitts' first year. Make him emerge and just be a tight end that we haven't seen him since, year one and when he was in Florida.
Colton, do you like this offense?
Oh, Doc.
I
might jinx this team just like I did the Saints. This team should easily win the division. Now they have a competent quarterback in the building. Their defense is going to be good. We didn't even get to the defense yet. And again, we might see finally the most overrated prospect outside of a quarterback in Kyle Pitts finally, look like the Kyle Pitts that we all expected to, just like 3 years later. So yeah, again, it's a good roster. And again, Bijan Robinson, we should see a little bit more of Bijan this season, even though he did have plenty of touches last year, just in the red zone. For some reason, didn't give him the football. I don't know if they were trying to save him for the longevity or what, but it makes 0 sense. But again, finally some quarterback play, and again, one of the most mind-boggling draft picks I've ever seen in my entire life with Michael Penix Jr., but we'll save that for another day because this goes down in my Falcons hate, and this team's just really weird. Yes, this is where they're at, and again, let's take a look at the defense because I think this offense is going to be going in the right direction. Will it take me away on the defense?
The defense, they did lose a couple pieces. I got to pull that up here. I am so delayed here. But Calais Campbell, one of the more known veterans in the league, he's not there anymore. Let's talk about their additions, which is only James Smith-Williams and Antonio Hamilton. But then on the other side, losses, Bud Dupree, Calais Campbell, Trey Flowers, Jeff Okudah, who they got for pennies on the dollar.
That's right.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of moves on the defense. I think the offense is going to be why they win games this year. I'm not overly sold on the defense, even though there's still some really good pieces all around. Drafting Rook in the second round. I'm not going to say that name correct at all, but
you can't say basic names.
The team has not had a really. They're like in the basement of like sacks over the last 5 years. I don't even think they have 100 over the last 5 seasons. They bring in Rook to maybe start igniting something. Grady Jarrett's still there. David Amiyata's still there. I think, on defense you have to get to the quarterback, and that's what you need in this league is getting to the quarterback. So I think this might be a bottom 10 defense. I don't really have much to really say. Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell still there. D. Alford makes his return. They have the Burns man himself and Kevin King. There's really, I don't know. There's nothing here that excites me on this defense.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think the losses, you named some guys that were names, but they were names. They're all at the end of their career pretty much, except for Jeff Okudah, obviously. So I don't think those losses are incredibly impactful, but obviously, this isn't the best starting defensive roster that we've seen, obviously.
No, they're very lucky they're in a garbage division. So the offense, Kirk Cousins and the offense should carry the way because this defense is yikes. This might be the worst defense in the division. I know we just looked at Carolina. Carolina has better defense than these guys.
Yeah, and I said that about Carolina thinking, oh, yeah, kind of the Falcons had guys, but then now that we're here, yeah, I might have to take that one back. So we'll see. It's a toss-up. It's a competition, I guess. So
Yeah, Falcons having one of the worst drafts this year by far. Two guys
Yeah,
that aren't even.
drafting a nice pass rusher would have helped, but
Yeah.
take a backup quarterback like
That's
any
why
other.
That's why you take Rook. That's why Rook's there.
Yeah, but
I know. I gotcha.
All right, let's see the schedule.
So going to the schedule
Which is
here.
so small. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, come
This
on.
was the schedule they produced for me, and I couldn't find another 2024 graphic schedule. Everything was 22 or 23, and then there's just
It's all right. They might come up small. It's only fitting. This team might come up small.
Just short.
it was more about Plaster and Kirk in the middle. So that was kind of more what they were about.
Well, sure.
They might be Penix, like right over his shoulder. Is what they should.
They made the tampering worth it in this graphic. So
This season could honestly, week 1 you go against Arthur Smith, who's now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a money game right there. But then you have to go to Philadelphia with primetime Kirk. Maybe you start Penix because it's not Kirk. Penix could play when the lights are bright. But then you go against Kansas City. Then you go straight through. You have to run through the South. Then you face Seattle, and then you're on the road. Then you play Dallas, and you got to go to two of the hardest places to play in New Orleans and Denver. Yeah.
The back end of their schedule is pretty cake.
yeah, look at that, dude.
That week 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, it's pretty favorable for them.
I think they could put double-digit wins up after I got to the end of the schedule, and I was like, okay, win. But I think they could do a double-digit thing. Honestly, if they make playoffs, but you didn't even ask the question yet.
Yeah, what will make the season successful? I think the bare minimum is the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's nice if you win the division, and then it'd be really good if you make a deep playoff run.
Honestly, they did what they did because they were tired of 7-9 because Arthur Smith
of the Jeff Fisher stat line.
Yeah, Arthur Smith promised them better and then didn't do better or worse for 3 years. And then so if they have over 500 wins, which is 9, right? You go 8 and 9 nowadays. That's how it works. If you have 9 wins, that's already improvement. Then you get playoffs, good. If you get first in the division, it's kind of expected with this team. So okay, but if you get a playoff win, now we're kind of cooking. But yeah. And what, Kirk's contract's 4 years? Is that what we're doing?
4 years, they could get out of it after 2.
Yeah, so a playoff win would be cool as hell for them. Where they're at and what they're doing and from where they've been, that's kind of the ideal situation is to have a playoff win this season. All right, so that's where I think we're at.
If they think they're even remotely competent on offense, they should win the division.
Yeah. They should win the division, but a playoff game would be kind of a plus going into the years of Kirk's contracts and the new head coach and everything. It's a lot of shakeup to expect way too much, but, a minimum of...
We've seen, new head coaches and new quarterback duos. They've gone into the playoffs before and they've won it.
It's also not a hard schedule.
No, it's not
It's really not a hard schedule at all.
At third place, it's really not.
Yeah, third place. So that's nice.
You get to play some West Coast teams at 1 o'clock, like the Seahawks, the Chargers. You get the advantage on that very early.
Wait, do they have third place? Do they have the Saints not listening to Dennis Allen to thank for that or no?
Well,
wait, no.
Dennis Allen would be a...
Well, it kind of matters. But was it that game that put them in the third place?
Yeah, but it's not like it was going to make a difference in the division.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah, all right. Fair. Okay. All right. What do you guys... Let's move on?
Yeah, double-digit wins for the Falcons.
Maybe. Hopefully. Potentially. Possible.
And here we go. We are on to the New Orleans Saints, our clear-cut favorites, as we have said multiple times last year, and you can even pull up the old episodes on YouTube. This is the clear division winner. There's no one that's going to come close. It's the Saints and nobody. Derek Carr and company, they're going to go in. They're going to make a lot of big waves. Dennis Allen, the former head coach of the Raiders when Derek Carr was there, the whole 10 yards and whatnot. Falling a half a game short out of the division there. 9-8, 4-2 in their division record, 4-2, 9-8 overall for 2023. And I gotta think Dennis Allen's seat is getting warm. It's getting hot as the days go on and the weeks roll by. Yeah,
Already be, dude.
it should already be. As
I think he had
Capola's
clue what he was
back out.
doing Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I chose this picture because I feel like this is pretty applicable. You have Carr walking away, and it's like, all right, he didn't perform as well as we thought.
Also, Derek Carr was the guy from SpongeBob. Every morning I break my arms, and every afternoon I break my legs. He was playing hurt the entire year.
Then you have Dennis Allen kind of looking clueless and looking just like, what happened? And I felt like that kind of sums up everything that happened for them.
What happened? So looking on offense here, I'm going to say the name. We got ridiculed last year. Slant Boy is not there anymore. And I think that concludes the era of Saints football with your Marquise Colsons, your Devery Hendersons,
Robert Meacham.
Jimmy Graham's not on the team. Mark Ingram's. I think that book is closed now on Saints history. This is a whole new team. And also, we have to bring this up to Ryan Ramczyk, the would-be starting right tackle. He got placed on the PUP, and because he's like a fourth-year player, or, he's not in the first 3 years, he got put onto season-ending IR where he cannot be elevated off of IR, so he's completely done for the year, which is a hit for their offensive line. But they get Talise Fuaga from Oregon State to maybe be their next Teron Armstead. Armstead? Yeah, Teron Armstead from the who's now in the Miami Dolphins. Anchoring that the blind side of Derek Carr. Alvin Kamara is still there. I don't have much else to say, but I think this offense could honestly be better. I think there is a pretty significant drop-off after Chris Olave. You do have a speed demon, Rashid
Shaheed. He was good last year, man. He was.
Oh, yeah, over the top, forget about it. He could cook you for a 50-yard touchdown any day of the week. I don't have much else to say on this offense other than this seat for Dennis Allen is incredibly warm.
I personally don't like that he's still the head coach of this team after last year. I didn't like how that season ended. That season ended with me questioning if he even had control of the locker room because of what happened. And reports came out that he kind of was sketchy. And I think players said something, or I don't know, sketchiness going on there. Weird. And then he said something that was way weird. He compared himself to some like other situations or other coaches, and it was like, dude, stop. Like, what are you doing? So I have little faith in Dennis Allen, to be honest. Last year was weird, ended weirder. So I don't know, dude. Dennis Allen's not the guy for me. And I don't know how I feel about this offense, better or worse or same or
do we
something.
think that Spencer Rattler takes over at some point this year?
It's an actual
that's a real question, isn't it?
If he wins the second quarterback spot, I mean,
He
him
has
and Jake Hayner.
He has to, I feel like. Oh, Nathan Peterman's not part of it, Will? You're just going to leave?
Oh, yeah, Nathan Peterman's starting. I think John Gruden was like hanging out around like the Saints not that long ago. So like he put that Nathan Peterman like juju on them. Like, oh, hey. It's like Peyton Manning being like, hey, Adam Gase is a good guy. You should hire him as a head coach. He just like kind of like sprinkles it in every conversation he has.
I don't know, man. I think we could see Spencer Rattler start a game this season, maybe towards the end of the season.
I think it would depend how the season goes.
Yeah. The Saints have been
early always gets hurt, so
that
regardless.
And the Saints quarterback position has been weird and rocky for like 5 years at least. It's just been like, we want Jameis, and then like people booing other people and people like
They haven't had
The quarterback
consistency.
position since Breeze has been so weird in New Orleans.
Yeah, in the post Breeze era, the only consistency they've had is
I
Andy
can
Dalton.
take a shot every time. Every time Weird's brought up, I'm telling you, that's the one to describe each team. For Dom, it's definitely weird for this team. I can tell you that.
To be fair,
He's not wrong. He's not wrong though. Dom's not wrong.
like
Dennis Allen and Matt Eberflus were two of the jobs that are like, why do these guys have head coaches still? Like, why are these guys still head coaches in this league? So, yeah, I don't know. I haven't said much about the Saints. Not much to say about the Saints. Yeah, I kind of burned my bridge with the Saints after last year. I went in this easy, the clear-cut team, and I gladly on my face. So this team can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. Just like this division can kick rocks. So they should be decent. They should be a borderline playoff team just like they were last year. Should be kind of around the division race. But just like last season, they'll probably disappoint. And, yeah, this team sucks. So, yeah.
But see, they all suck. None of them are good or great. They're all about the same level of mid. That's why the Falcons ended up getting.
That's why this division sucks, Jake. I know. I mean, we're already on 36 minutes of this stream. The fact that we're not almost wrapping up is insane to me because this division fucking sucks. It sucks. This division blows.
I think the Saints have the best.
Talk about. I hate this division. I should have called out for this division.
I think the Saints have the best 1-2 tight end duo in this entire division.
Oh my god!
With Juwan Johnson and Foster.
Oh,
Moreau.
easily. You could even say 3 with Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill's your best running back, quarterback, offensive lineman, fullback.
Kyle Pitts exists in this division. Stop it.
Well, who's his tight end too? Who's his tight end too? I know his tight end.
Who cares?
Who
cares?
Charlie Warner.
What are we? The Giants from Joe Judge where you got to run every freaking play? Who cares? Oh my God, I don't care about the freaking Titans.
All right, let's go to the
care about
defense
the
here.
tight
And before I talk about the defense, Dom, you should get the wheel prepared for us to spin at the end of the episode.
Thank you, Will. Good job.
So at least there's a couple minutes here. But looking at this entire defense, bold take shot here. This is a top 10 defense in football. There's not a single weak spot on this defense. It is deep. It is good. Have fun playing against them. This is the part of why the Saints will be staying in games throughout the entire year is the defense.
Why they have for the last 4 years. It's the only reason they've been
I think
relevant.
it's even better than what they've had. I think it's even better. And then they make the additions of Willie Gay Jr. You go out and you sign Chase Young, even though they gave him $16 million, and he has some neck problem that he got corrected during the offseason. But this is still anchored by Demario Davis. It's still anchored by Marshawn Lattimore. Tyrann Mathieu, he's still anchoring this thing. There is still a lot of good on this team. And then you add Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama. I like this team. I should say I like the defense. Not the team. I like the defense. The defense is good.
I feel like it's kind of like the same as what we've seen. I feel like they'll perform the same and just kind of what we know Saints to be on defense and they're not an easy team to play for your offense, but obviously you'll probably win the game, but it's not, So, I mean, I really don't think this Saints team is much different all the way around. I'll still sum it up as weird. Let's go to their schedule.
So going to the schedule here, having to play the Chiefs on the road. Their road games aren't horrible. I think the two hardest games they're going to play on the road is Kansas City and Green Bay. Other than that, it's not a difficult outside the dome schedule. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But
they're going to be in the mix. That's fine. They should be in the mix. Defense is very, very good. Probably the best defense in the division. By far. It's just how can Derek Carr play and if he gets in the field? I mean, Chris Olave is still a very good receiver. Alvin Kamara is still a very good running back. They have things that can easily make them the division winner. But they sucked last year, and Dennis Allen somehow this team. So this could epically fail again, and they finish second or third in this division. I just that's why I just
Let me ask the question: what will make the season successful?
winning the
for
division, making the playoffs, which they did last year.
If I can definitely say Dennis Allen should still be a head coach by the end of this season,
Yeah.
I'm good with them. That's good on okay.
I was going to say them still have looking like they have faith in Dennis Allen as a coach. If they quit on him, it's over.
I say you have to get to week 9 and see what's going on. If you're 3 games under 500 by week 9,
That's tough.
Yeah, he's not. He's that's a midseason firing right there.
Yeah, but that's tough just because
they'll probably be in it still, so they won't fire him. That's why you held on before.
It's kind of true because
also they delayed the trade deadline till November 4th. So, or no, November 5th actually. So them delaying it, I'm not sure if that would be like, oh hey, we're not going to get rid of him until like week 10 if the season's super sour by that point.
I have them getting 9 wins on this schedule. Like
this division is always the race to who can get 10 wins.
And so, that's kind of the thing. 9 wins is very much in it. So, I guess, I don't know, But if it's 9 wins and I say at the end of the season, okay, Dennis Allen had control of this team, good things were happening. They were, maybe they finished the season kind of rolling because you can on this schedule, maybe. And I'm confident that Dennis Allen could do better the year after, then okay, so maybe that's okay. That's a good thing, maybe, even though they might not make playoffs. Okay, that's successful as a season to me, but that's, I think, as successful as they're going to get. So I don't know. If Kirk gets hurt for an amount of time.
Let's pray to God he doesn't get hurt.
No,
because then this is going to be another awful race for the third consecutive season.
But then you
got Penix in there.
Yeah, well, it's true. I don't know, man. I don't know. Can we talk about the last team now?
Let's go into
to me. I love it.
Let's go to the division winner of the NFC South. A year ago, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we spent a miraculous 8 minutes and 48 seconds as to why this team was dog water.
Because this team had no business making the playoffs.
Yeah.
This team had zero business making the playoffs. The 2 teams that should have been in the race both fell on their face. It was terrible.
They've removed Tom Brady retires. He's not going to go right to the booth. He takes the year off in 2023. They fire Byron Leftwich after Tom Brady's 700 passing attempts in 2022. They bring in Dave Canales as offensive coordinator. They bring in Baker Mayfield. They gave him a chance. He beats out Kyle Trask for the job. And the rest is history because, Baker Mayfield had a really good year. Mike Evans produced wildly last year. And also Rashad White, the running back, also really performed amazing. So, Dom, if you could pull us back here, and let's look into the offense here, maybe be a little more positive that goes on here. All right, because we are super positive on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The big thing here is Graham Barton, the new center. I believe he's at a Duke. Don't quote me on that one. I could probably find it really quick. Yep, Graham Barton at a Duke. Ryan Jensen retires after having a knee injury during the 2023 training camp. He comes back for a game for Tom Brady's last game in the wild card round of 2023 against the Cowboys, and that was kind of it. That was a career for him. But Baker Mayfield, this is his show. They draft Bucky Irving in the 4th round. Still, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. They bring in Sterling Shepard.
Cool.
The offensive line is still there. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. So they added Sterling Shepard, offensive guard, Ben Bredson, Sua Opta, and that's really it. They lost David Moore and just some backup offensive linemen. That was really about it with their bigger moves there. So,
I mean, this is the same offense, right? They're going to perform the same, I would think. Maybe even a little bit better because they've been together for a little bit.
Breakout year,
and Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin had issues last year, right? For a little bit, there was like a weird slump or something. Was it Chris Godwin? Was it Mike Evans? I don't remember. I
Nah,
felt
it was Chris Godwin. Mike Evans was like on fire last
Yeah.
year.
He had probably one of the better years of his career.
I feel like Chris Godwin had this weird.
Drop a lot of balls too on top of Mike Evans. I just remember Mike Evans fantasy owners just watching this guy drop 2 or 3 touchdowns last year. Like easy balls, just drop them.
Hey, that
still
was
had
that was
one.
Keenan Allen too. A case of the oopsies.
Random drops, but he was still elite. It's incredible.
He caught the Aguilar.
Yeah, there are a few moments where like easy balls and just drop them. Like, what is this? A Mike Evans I've watched all season? Like, what are we doing, bro?
I mean, Sterling. The addition of Sterling Shepard means absolutely nothing to me. Cool, you got like the NFL's best 4th wide receiver or whatever. Like, I think what? Sure, he replaced David Moore. All right. So I besides that, I don't know.
I don't know if you want to if you want to bring up any like gossip news. Trey Palmer, nah. I don't think that was a real source. I'm gonna look this up really quick. I'm not gonna announce.
No,
I don't even know where you're going. So
Zero clue where you're going with this. What are we about?
Where are going with it? He fell into one of these memes. So that, like,
I definitely found the meme account. Oh no, it was 100% a meme account. I'm not even gonna announce it.
Just say it. You started it. You have to.
I fell for it. I fell for it that Sidney Sweeney and Trey Palmer.
Nick, well, I said the episode. I saw 4 of those with 4 different people today. Please give me the defense. Well, Dom, defense, I think Will should be shut out the rest of this episode.
What?
the fact that Will found a meme account for something about the NFC South for the episode is just so fitting.
Get the defense, please. Like, can we Will
let's go.
the
So the defense here, they bring
No,
back.
you already lost your job. You lost your job. Actually,
let me announce that I won't say another word for the rest of the episode.
No. I don't want to hear any more from you, Will. So I'm going to take over for this now. All right, so the defense with some losses. They sent some cornerback, forget his name, to the Detroit Lions for a bag of chips. They still have Vita Vea out of Washington. They drafted a few years back. Levante David's still there. Jordan Whitehead, Antoine Winfield, I think, got an extension. And yeah, the rest of this defense, I give 2 craps about, just like the rest of the NFC South. Dom, what is your opinion? Because Wells is useless to me.
The defense. I mean, what? The only loss is Barrett, right? That's really like the big.
Barrett retired, and not
Devin
the
White.
cornerback. I'm missing a cornerback.
Carlton Davis.
Probably has. No, here. There's a corner I'm missing. Traded to Detroit. That's what I'm missing.
Carlton Davis, no? Or was that the?
I just said Carlton Davis.
Yeah, but you're in the bad.
I heard Sidney Sweeney. I don't. What?
Yeah, that's the name I'm missing on quarterback. All right, that's the rest of your input.
I mean,
Gerald, what are you thinking out of this defense? What do you think?
Well, all they've ever had is pass rush and then a guys that hold on the outside. Blitzing every play and then holding on the outside is not a strategy.
Yeah, but don't they perform? Doesn't this defense didn't they perform?
No, it only performs against teams who are poorly coached.
And that's probably half of their schedule. So, I mean, here we go. Let's just do it. By the way, aesthetic schedule, everyone. So, here we are.
All right, well, at least they're doing something right.
It is kind of cool looking. I'm not going to lie.
Let me turn my head sideways.
Yeah, that's the only part. It's like
the only problem is we're all
break
under
my
it,
neck.
I will say, it's like you're on a boat. So, sure, I guess. I don't know. It's where we're at.
I mean,
if this was what their schedule looked like last year, we would have said this is the best part of the team. So,
yeah, this team should be again fighting for a playoff spot. The offense is intact. If Baker stays healthy, they have 2 legitimate weapons, a solid running back. The defense, you know what you're going to get. They're probably the second best defense in the division, so they're going to be up there competing for the division again. So it comes down to, can the Falcons take the big leap that we're expecting? The Saints are probably going to disappoint again, and Baker Mayfield's going to continue to shock people because Cleveland should have never let him go, and just built around Baker and Cleveland. Instead, they went for the great person that is Deshaun Watson, and that's backfired for Cleveland. So the Buccaneers got a hyped up Baker, guy looking to prove himself, and he proved himself with the Bucs and got himself a contract. And here's Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Mike Evans, who I believe got a contract extension this offseason. Didn't Mike Evans? So they're in a good spot. Yeah, and I'm very glad that the NFC South is over. Oh, God.
That's a really rough end of September to early November.
No. Not even that.
From late September to their bye week sucks.
Not even that. They could go into this bye week with 3 wins straight up. Because you have to play. All right, so the Eagles, that's tough. The Falcons, nowadays, that might be tough.
Well, yeah, you're on the road, 2 straight road
and they
division
lose
games
against New Orleans on the road every year. So that's also
then you get to come home right to the Ravens.
Yep. And then Falcons again, which you might get whooped again by the Falcons.
Probably going to win the home game.
Kansas City, San Fran. Yeah, they might win. I mean, that stretch sucks.
Yeah, then you have 2 of the best teams in the NFL back-to-back before your bye week.
Yeah, so I mean, like that, they could go into the bye week 3 wins. That's it.
It'll be one of those things where they're the 3rd place team, and then they rattle off a bunch of wins at the end of the season, and
then they go like 7-9 and call it a day.
And then this is the NFC South in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is exactly why.
I don't know if it will depend on how bad the NFC will be. If maybe another 9-win team's going to be entering the playoffs at the 7 seed.
Well, that's not the NFC's problem. That's this division's problem. It's the divisional format's problem.
I don't know if they're going to be producing a second team to go into the playoffs.
They never do.
They didn't last year. It was just the one team.
It's just their 1 7-win team that squeaks in.
9.
I'm being hyperbolic.
It's 1 over 500.
So it could be 7-10 going into the playoffs. Who knows?
Oh, Trent Williams is holding out.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. That's
wrong division.
I know. It just popped up on my phone.
No, what do you mean? San Fran's right there. 7 and 10.
I might actually count.
You can, if you want to go for it. It's about to leave.
7-10, and who cares? That's kind of where this division is. That's kind of where I'm at.
But it's like the thing. If they get to 10, they'll make the playoffs.
They're not making it to 10. They're not making it to 10. There's only one team in this division that can make it to 10, and that is the Atlanta Falcons. That is about it. That is this division
to 10. The Saints, if things go right, can make it to 10.
Yeah, I think the Saints could make it.
Zero trust in the Saints after last year.
Exactly. That's the same thing we did last year. It's like, well, if things go right, they can get there, but do we trust it to happen? No.
All right, and one last segment of the show. Dom, can you pull up the illustrious wheel and see which division we're going to?
Spin the wheel.
I already forgot about it.
It's the wheel of misfortune. Here we go.
Share screen.
Oh,
share screen.
NFC South's out of it, so it's not misfortune. It's all teams we want to talk about.
Alrighty. I don't know if you can click it like a couple times, Dom, on the spin, but we have the NFC West. We have both West still. The NFC East, the AFC North, and the AFC South.
Are we doing on like the 3rd spin or one and done?
No. Dom just clicks it like 3 times or whatever. I don't know if it works.
But
here we go, and we are going to.
Oh, yay. My second least favorite division in football.
You're not in the AFC South.
At least it's a little bit better. At least they have CJ Stroud going.
The way
I would hate this division.
The way Colton feels about the NFC South is how I feel with the AFC South.
Really?
I can't stand their existence.
I don't like
it. This is my second least favorite division in football. So
there's some excitement for Colton to talk about. So that's all right.
I mean, the Texans are sick now.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, now great. The Titans still suck nuts. Jacksonville still has an overpaid quarterback, and
the Colts are the question mark.
In this division.
And the Colts are always as talented.
The Colts are somewhat interesting because Anthony Richardson. If he's hurt again, this team sucks. So who cares?
But they have Joe Flacco, second consecutive comeback player of the year award.
Who's talk anymore in this episode? God Almighty!
All right, one of you could do the outro then. I'm not allowed to talk anymore.
I can do it. So if you've been with us this far, thank you very much. Thank you for TikTok. Thank you for YouTube. Thank you for, well, we're having issues with YouTube, but that's okay. Thank you for
issues on X.
And on X and Facebook and everything under the sun, I guess. But you still can follow us on all those things below as it's ticking across. You have YouTube for the Fan Network. Obviously, that's the place to be. Will breaks them all down and puts them on the YouTube. You got TikTok, we're live. You got X, I don't think we're live. You have Instagram as well for updates. So, yeah, those you can follow us on. Thank you very much. And we will be back next week with the AFC South, some of our absolute favorite divisions, clearly. I'm glad everyone hopefully enjoyed this episode as much as Colton did. Bring us out, Will.
listen to us next day on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you want to find your podcast. We're always available on 19 different websites. Whoever tries to take our little metadata URL and just post us wherever. Yeah, we're Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305.
All right,
Zero.
back to the bedroom.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty, that ends the episode. Tune in next week, same time every Wednesday. Thank you for listening to For the Fan.